eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. esimstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at esimstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios. eSIM Studios YouTube and mobile app. The eSIM Studios YouTube channel offers the very best technology news and reviews with in-depth coverage found nowhere else. Hosted by founder and creator, Taylor Bell. He's a really good dude, college educated, and worked inside the industry. He knows what he is talking about. The eSIM Studios mobile app is an experience unlike any other tech app, with an easy-to-use interface view, late-breaking tech news from all over the industry, and so much more. esimstudios.app also includes the unlocker. Learn to unlock phones from the professionals for free. The clean and intuitive layout, finding breaking news articles and deals in tech has never been easier. Watch and listen to the eSIM Studios YouTube channel and podcast from within the app. Additional features include easy Gcam download and installation, the Android Flash tool, and sign up for our weekly giveaway drawing. Download the eSIM Studios mobile app at esimstudios.app and find us on YouTube by simply searching eSIM Studios.
Yeah.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream, episode number 127. Thank you for joining me this Sunday afternoon, June 23rd, 2024. Busy day over here at eSIM Studios. Got lots of news going on, but always got time to push a live stream through. Added some cool stuff to the app, so check this out. If you go to our app, let me pull it up here real quick. I'll share the screen. You can actually watch this live stream directly in the app. That is right. Let me pull it up here for everybody. If you simply go to esimstudios.my.canva.site, let me share the screen here. So check this out. If you go over here to the menu, top left, and you go down here, now you can view our entire YouTube channel right here. You can listen to our podcast right here. And if you want to watch us live, you don't even have to go to the YouTube app. You can go right here. Simply select that, and what do you know? If you push play, there you go. So, esimstudios.app. Got all the news. We got everything you could need tech-wise is at esimstudios.app. As I mentioned before, if you want to take us on the go, simply go any podcast platform. Wherever you get your podcast, simply search eSIM Studios and we will pop up, right? We have enough, and we're doing them every day now, that all the podcast platforms carry us. So if you go to Apple Podcasts, you can listen to us there, right? Where else? Amazon Music, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio app, all that good stuff. We're on there. So eSIM Studios, search us, view us, find us, and we will provide all the tech news and reviews that you could ever want and dream. I'm going to implement some more iPhone stuff here in the near future. We are Android heavy. We're getting into PC news, and I also added a deals. If you go to our deals section right here, I find deals all across the internet and I put them here for you. So these are ones that I personally find, and there's one I was going to mention, or that I'm going to add later today. OnePlus 12R. OnePlus knocked more money off of that device for everybody. Beautiful, wonderful device. Very strong performing device. Nice in the hand. Pause. Really, really, really good. So I'm going to add that here later today. So let's get into it real quick. So I added, we'll get into the Apple news here in just a minute. Let's go to the headlines, right? So if you have a Google Pixel, chances are, of course, it depends on where you live too, I'm sure. If you live in Antarctica or you live in Nova Scotia, or either somewhere way up north or way down south where it's really cold, you might not have run into any mishaps, misfortunes that I'm about to speak on, but I personally have. If you're watching this podcast after the fact, again, if you catch us midway through or you miss it completely, simply you can hit the replay of this, right? But if you have a Pixel device, I want to know how many of you have had a device that overheats. Now, when I say overheat, I'm talking about where the phone will actually notify you of a warning overheating, that either your phone is shutting down, or you're trying to take a picture or a video, and it says the device is too hot to use the camera, right, or the flashlight. That has been an unfortunate occurrence with a lot of Pixel devices. Now, it did not just hamper one series or just the Pixel 5a, right? This has been an ongoing issue for years upon years. So now, it has not happened on the 8 Pro. It did happen on my 7 Pro. It happened not on every single Pixel device that I've had. It does not happen to every single one, but I guarantee you there's somebody out there watching this right now that's had a Pixel where it's probably happened on any number of the series of devices. I remember it happening to a 5A. Now, we are going to get into what Google's going to implement here, as you can tell on the screen, but I don't know if this Pixel, and I'm pointing up here because it's my overhead camera, but well, I'll leave it there. I need to film something. Here's the deal. I don't know if this is going to overheat yet, and let me explain why. Because of the release schedule. Pixels are launched in late October, just before Halloween, right? Moving away from fall season into winter season. So when I got this Pixel, or perfect example, let's use my 7 Pro. Got it in late October, right? I had it all winter, right? Well, probably up until, when did it overheat? I believe it was around this time last year. No, maybe it was in July. Anyways, summertime. So I'm down here in South Texas. It is hot as hell. I have multiple YouTube videos where I show, in fact, this happening. So I didn't really know that my Pixel was going to overheat, because when taking it out, it doesn't overheat inside. It was outside when I was testing something, when I was filming something on my Pixel for this YouTube channel. It was last July. It was 104 outside. Started filming video for literally probably 1 or 2 minutes, and whoa, it got hot. It got hot to the hand, hot to touch, and then I got the dreaded device too hot, camera shutting down. So I couldn't even film, but I wanted to film. While at that time, my S23 Ultra was just trucking through. No issues whatsoever. It was a little warm to the touch, but nothing hot. Nothing to where, I second guessed it. And I also had the Nothing phone as well. The Nothing phone 2 that I was filming on, that was fine. Let's do this. Watch. Let me show you which one. So check this out. You see this? So these two videos here. Here's when I was recording. I was recording something in my car, right? And then now this is in the car with air conditioning. Now the mount was on the front dash, but as you can tell, it was rather shady at that point in time. It's probably later in the afternoon. What does it say? 100 degrees, shut down, camera shut down, right? Not good. And I was filming on my S23 Ultra at that time. Down below on the second video, I tested Pixel 7 Pro versus the Nothing Phone 2. Pixel 7 Pro failed miserably due to an overheating issue. Nothing Phone 2, if you go watch that video, it survived. Well, I take that back. It survives the test between the Pixel 7 Pro and the Nothing Phone 2. However, I actually get the Nothing Phone 2 to overheat because I record in 4K and leave it out in direct sunlight to see how long it would take for that to overheat. It took a while. Most phones will overheat. I say most, not all. And at that point, at that test, it was 103, and now that's air temperature. With heat index, it was probably 110, 113. It's hot, right? So long story short, I apologize making this long ass intro. Hey, what's going on, brother? You doing okay? Hope you're doing all right today. So anyways, long ass intro, but long story short, and as you know, I've told Google about this in these videos. In the description, I at Google. I'm a member of the Pixel Superfans group. So they send me, amongst some other people, questions, I think twice a year, I think every 6 months, about products. One specifically for Pixel, two about just general hardware that they make, that they manufacture and sell. They always ask, what do they ask? If there's like one thing you could change or at the top of your list, something like that. I always put overheating issues every single year for the last couple years since they've been asking me. Overheating issue, overheating issue, overheating issue. So why is it every year when Pixel has a launch and I'm watching the launch, they never say anything about a vapor chamber, about any thermals, any cooling, nothing. Meanwhile, Samsung in the last 2 years has mentioned nothing specific like OnePlus did, but has mentioned a cooling effect, or they did something to keep it cool. OnePlus has the absolute biggest vapor chamber out of any mobile device on the market. It is huge. If you go watch the jailbreak everything video of the OnePlus 12, it is a huge vapor chamber. It's basically the size of the whole back panel. And it doesn't have to be, it's not a big thing. It doesn't add weight. It doesn't add thickness. It's basically two copper, now these are thin copper layers. It's basically like a sheet of paper. So you have two sheets of paper, or sheets of copper, with vapor in it. And it has chambers, and it heats up, and it steams, and it cools down. And it heats up, and it steams, and it cools down. So my point is, why has Google never, if they did implement that in their devices, they sure as hell have never said anything about it. So I'm finally glad. I think they're catching on. I know there are a couple Google employees that are subscribed to this channel. Now, we are a Pixel first. Let me word this right. We are hashtag Team Pixel. I'll just put it that way. Love Pixel, supported Google and Pixel throughout the life of the device. I've had every single device, even since the Nexus days, right? Even since the G1. Do y'all remember the G1? The very first Google phone. Yes, I've had every single Google phone. So, big supporters here. And I always will be, right? I always will be. I'm always going to buy Pixel every single year. But they need to improve, right? So I think this year they're finally catching on. Now, I would love to say my suggestions on the questionnaire sheets that I get twice a year had something to do with it. I would love to say that this channel had something to do with it. These videos had something to do with it. See how hot it was down here? Look at this. In the middle of the summer. Hot as hell. I would love to say I had something to do with it, but I don't know. But I think it's a long overdue. it's time for them to fix this issue. I guarantee you, if you're a Pixel owner, comment down below if you're watching this replay. How many of you have had a overheating notification, right? I think every Pixel owner probably has had one, unless you just switched to Pixel and you never had one yet. Look, we don't know if the Pixel 8 Pro or the Pixel 8 series has an overheating issue because we're just now rolling into the summer months, right? As I mentioned before, these come out in late October. I don't really know if it's going to overheat until I get into the hot weather, summer months, right? So we got news that Google is going to introduce a new adaptive thermal feature for Pixel devices, and they seek your help to address the overheating issues. If you have too many overheating notifications, you can hurt the device. If you just get one, maybe two, no harm, no foul. If you get multiple and you're always in hot weather, like you work outside and you keep your phone in your pocket, you may run into issues if you're a Pixel owner. And I've worked outside for years in the past. Always had a Pixel, but I don't keep my phones for more than a year, right? Always trade it in to get a new one. So, but if you don't, and if you plan to keep on holding on to your device, you run the risk of deteriorating your battery and ruining some internal components, right, with prolonged heat exposure. But it looks like Google is going to do something about it. I surely hope so. At least that's what we've gotten the word of. So they're working on providing even more detailed warnings for Pixel smartphones. As reported by Android Authority early this morning, the company is planning to introduce a new feature called Adaptive Thermal to Pixel phones, starting with the Pixel 9 series right here in a few months. This will eliminate the need to access a web browser to understand what is happening to the phone. App Analysis predicted that this feature may come in the future. The Device Health Service application, version 1.2.3.0.6 will provide more comprehensive information and necessary preventative measures so you can take those preventative measures more quickly. It'll display a pre-warning notification saying your phone needs to cool down and indicate performance degradation. This pre-warning is activated by the battery measurement service, which issues the notification when the phone reaches 49 degrees Celsius or 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Holy crap, that's hot. It also recommends keeping the phone out of direct sunlight and closing apps that require more processing power and battery life, such as graphic intensive games and or guess what? Your camera. So let's see. Let's get into the detail because we're going to get into this in just a second, right? So with this new adaptive thermal feature, the smartphone checks the battery temperature every 5 minutes if it needs to cool down in extreme situations where the device reaches 52 degrees Celsius or 126 degrees Fahrenheit. The Pixel device will enter an emergency state. If the phone reaches 131 degrees Fahrenheit, 131, an early power off dialog box will appear, informing the user that the phone will power off in 30 seconds due to unsafe temperatures. Detailed overheating warnings might not be released to the Pixel devices in a public release, and they might test this out and or push this out to a beta first, and then start rolling it out to normal stable build users. This feature will basically work with the user to bring the device's temperature down, keeping them in the loop at all stages. And this is where I am not satisfied. Because how do you keep your customers, your Pixel users, in the loop all throughout the stages if your phone shuts down? That's correct. If you go back and watch my video, I believe my phone shuts down. Well, let's find out. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see where they go. So here's the test. I throw them in direct sunlight. That's how hot they are. They start out... Wait, what the hell? Started off at 78 degrees Fahrenheit in the sun when I left them there. And when I get there, they're dead. All right, so let me see what temp it gets at. So I take it inside, I turn it on, and then what temperature? I immediately turn it on and see what temperature it was at. Come on now. 129. See that? So, what temperature do I show the nothing phone? What temp that shut off at? 120. See that? So, if this phone shuts off at 120, this phone shuts off at around 129. What good is this going to do if your phone shuts down, right? Like, I don't want to warn a new warning system. I want them to fix this issue, period. My Samsung, I've never had a Samsung phone. Now, maybe you're different. However, their flagship, the very top cream of the crop, their S21 Ultra, S22 Ultra, S23, 24 Ultra. I've never had one shut down or even give me a warning that the phone is too hot. And I carry these around all the time, right? Summertime down here is hot as hell. OnePlus, again, I don't know. I haven't had a OnePlus in a few years, or a couple years, but they have a ginormous vapor chamber. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. Because I need Google to do this or something like this. If OnePlus has a patent on this design, well, come up with something else. Because I am not really satisfied with them doing nothing. This has been my biggest gripe for Pixel devices for years. So let me go to images. I'm not going to show jailbreak everything's video just simply because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But check this out, right? Vapor chamber. Look at this. Massive vapor chamber to battle temps to keep these temperatures down. Google does not have a vapor chamber. And that headline, hang on one second. You see how big it is? It's huge. Somehow, look, other devices have them, and there may be half of that, right? It's just like this is maybe 40% of it, right? Now check this out. Damn, that white one looks so nice. I should have gotten the white one. Look at this. So I think this is the graphic. So look at this. Okay, so this is how Google, are you watching? Check this out. Well, shit, it's in Chinese or Mandarin, but you get the idea, right? Picture books, right? So here's the secret to the OnePlus 12's record-breaking performance: a giant vapor chamber. They keep the temperatures down, never get hot. So the CPU and battery, mainly the CPU, creates, without where it's attached to that motherboard, creates an enormous amount of heat, especially if you're outside in hot weather already, especially if you're playing a game, using an app that is RAM intensive, games, shooting pictures, videos, all that stuff heats up the device, that CPU, like crazy. And this is literally what it is, a vapor chamber, right? It goes through little holes here, just like you're boiling a pot of water, right? Imagine boiling a pot of water. Now the CPU is going to be the coil on your stove, right? See, it's nice and red here. This is going to be the pot of water right here. When you boil that water, the steam goes up, right? Steam rises, goes through this layer with tiny holes in there, right? It hits this, it goes through this and creates water, right? Steam, water. Now, this is not like some big like waterfall you're picturing in your mind or on your stove. It's in the inside of a phone, right? So, but it theoretically does that, does just that, right? May be hard pressed to physically see it, but that's what it does. Little water droplets. I mean, tiny, but that's all you need to cool the phone. So as steam rises, it goes up, and then it goes back down over here through some other chambers and makes its way back down to the bottom section. Heats up, steam goes up, comes back down, cools it down, goes up, back down. So it continually cycles the steam, the vapors, the water vapors, right? It's an absolutely brilliant design. I don't know if they patented this. And Google, you have all the R&D in the world. You gotta fix this. You gotta fix this, because the news that we got last night is not sufficient. Like, this is not what I've been looking for as a Pixel user, right? This is not what I've been looking for. And just another warning system. Yeah, I know my phone is hot. I can feel it. I'm carrying it around in my hand, right? Yeah, I know it's hot. It's 107 outside. Yeah, it's hot. I get it. So it's just another thing for your phone to be beeping. I don't want it to beep. I want it in notified that it's hot outside. I want you to cool the phone down, right? So, not really sure how this is. Anyways, this is not the answer I was looking for. I'll just put it that way. When it comes to this overheating issue, you got to do something inside the phone physically to reduce the amount of heat. Now, these Tensor chips / Exynos chips, look, they're not cranking out massive RPMs and screaming down the track like a Ferrari or a OnePlus, right? It's but look, they still get hot, right? Shoot, even Suburbans still get hot, right? Pickup trucks still get hot. So you don't have to be a Ferrari and screaming down the road just to overheat. So we will keep an eye on this. I can guarantee you. I will keep my eye on this. And I do it every year. And if you go back when these are launched, somewhere in that week or so, you will hear me say, there was no announcement. There's no vapor chambers. There's no heating issues that were talked about. Nothing. So I'm going to keep my pressure on them until we get some sort of answer, because again, this is Pixel's number. I don't have the stats in front of me, but reading the forums, talking to people, other Pixel owners, this is the number one issue. Sure, there's other issues. There's bugs when Android 12 was released. It was real buggy, and there's a bug here, a bug there. This is the number one issue. Overheating. This is the number one issue, especially the closer you are to the equator, right? If you live in Antarctica, Nova Scotia, you're probably good. But if you live down here in Texas, Florida, South America, you're going to have issues. South Carolina even. It's hot, right? So, and quick tip. If your phone, and we'll move on, if your phone ever gets super hot to where it shuts down, or it feels like it's going to, it's hot to the touch, or you get a warning, look, probably don't want to stick it in the freezer, right? Now, have I put mine in the refrigerator, perhaps, for a minute or two? Yes. Not going to recommend that, but definitely do not put it in the freezer, because going from extreme heat to extreme cold by placing it in a freezer where it's below freezing can cause issues in your device. Now, putting it in a fridge, look, you probably shouldn't do that, but I've been known to do that once or twice if my phone gets really hot, just for a couple of minutes. But probably need to stop doing that. But it's been a while. Actually, last time that happened, the last time I did that was when the Pixel 7 Pro, that day actually, that day, when it overheated, I threw it in the refrigerator for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, but it works. But just don't put it in the freezer, okay? All right. So Pixel, we need more. This is not good enough. I hold you to a very high standard, and we need more from you. This is just not good enough. So please have something ready for us when the Pixel 9 is launched. And please send the invite for the Pixel 9 launch. I will definitely be going this year. Okay. So we got into the tablets. We got into, speaking of OnePlus, man, they are leading the pack when it comes to these vapor chambers, cooling of the phones. And you see this battery tech I talked about yesterday? Wow. It's getting a lot of attention today. Go back if you're interested in this new battery tech. It's freaking awesome. We discussed it on yesterday's live stream. Not going to want to miss that. We got the Apple Watch Ultra 2 on sale. Now, I think I barely touched on this. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? So I'm not going to go too far into this. I did write an article for our website. But Apple will forego. Apple will not produce the Apple Vision Pro 2. However, they will produce a cheaper version, a watered down version, to sell to consumers, right? So as we mentioned before, the Apple Vision Pro, too freaking expensive, among other things, right? We'll just leave it at that because we're talking about price today. But we did mention the fact that they are looking and or producing a cheaper version to push, right? So more people can potentially buy the product. Because when you sell something at base price that's $400-$200 out the door, it's $3,500, but with tax and what have you, it's like $4,200 out the door. The number of people that can just simply buy that product, very little, right? Very, very little. Because as we showed yesterday, the Meta Quest 2, are they on 2 or 3? Anyways, the Meta's version, Facebook version of their VR headset is like $500, and they're selling a ton of them. Apple's not going to go that low. I mentioned yesterday, if Apple can get their price point with this new Apple Vision Pro, what do they call the, you know how Google has the A series, Pixel A, nothing has the A series, watered down version. I don't know what Apple's going to call this, right? But it's going to be called something of the sort. I mentioned the other day, if they can get the price point in the 1,000, right? So $1,200, $1,500, $1,800, just not over $2,000 out the door. If they can get it like $1,800 out the door, I'm talking a product with tax, right? $1,900 out the door. They can keep it under $2,000. I think they can potentially sell quite a few of these. Obviously, the lower the price, the more that they would sell. But we'll have to see where this goes. So we got word today that they're struggling. We got word 2 days ago that they're going to make a cheaper version. And then we got word today that they're struggling to keep that price point that we just talked about realistically, but still hold all of the fundamental features that make it a Apple Vision Pro. So there's a trade-off, right? The more features you put on it, the more expensive it's going to be. And if you want the price to stay down here, well, you're going to have to drop 1 or 2 features. So that's up to them, obviously, to decide what features they're going to put in there. We have not gotten a word on what features that they absolutely have to have on this cheaper Apple Vision Pro. But they are struggling with it nonetheless. I'm sure in the boardrooms they are debating whether or not to have this or to have that, or the little Retina displays they have for each eyeball is like 8K. I'm sure people are saying, well, let's go down to 4K because we can produce them for 40% cheaper, and every little part that goes in there plays a huge difference in the price. But they are struggling with it now. That's part of running a big tech company. Is look, there are some people that'll vouch for one feature. It absolutely has to be in there. And there's another group of people inside the boardroom or inside Apple development team that say, no, we have to have this feature in there. Could cost some people some jobs, right? That's what it's all about. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, they have been working on. We also got word this didn't just spur up overnight. It's not like in the news where, oh, we couldn't sell any of these. Well, shit, let's just make a cheaper one. No, they've been working on a cheaper one. They actually have had multiple prototypes at different price points for years now. That's how long these things take to actually get to a final product. They take years. So they've had multiple lower, cheaper costing Apple Vision Pros, quote unquote, in the works. They were just working on them as prototypes. And then what Apple will do is they'll scrap the Jesus Christ. They'll scrap the Apple Vision Pro 2 and then say, okay, well, let's work on prototype B, D, and T. And then out of B, D, and T, the teams will work on getting those together, getting the features they want on them, and they will present them to the lead of the Apple Vision Pro department, and they'll test them out, see what's feasible, what's not. They'll get together with the board and test, and figure out what's feasible, what can we do, what cannot we do. That's how it goes. But don't just think they scrapped it overnight and pulled something together by the skin of their teeth. No, they've had these things in the works. I actually saw behind OnePlus. It was about 4 years ago. OnePlus had a ton of phones. I was in heaven for a few minutes because it showed OnePlus. This is like when the OnePlus 7 Pro was out. So maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. OnePlus, I think it was in Shenzhen in China where their headquarters is. They had a whole room, a whole big box of prototype OnePlus phones that they designed, they put together. They are real working phones that they put together to test, but they never made it to the market, right? So they could have had 4 or 5 phones that were going to be the OnePlus 7 Pro, but they just liked Model C as the best OnePlus 7 Pro. So that's what got selected and that's what got manufactured and sold. But they had a whole tin of OnePlus devices. Hang on. Sorry about that. So, anyways, long story short, Apple's working on a cheaper version. So, we will keep you up to date with all of the cheaper SE. That's what I was looking for. SE. Couldn't think of it, right? The SE. How does that sound? Apple Vision Pro SE. Or Apple Vision. Yeah, it would have to be the Pro SE. Got to keep the Pro name if they want to sell it. Okay. Okay, so we got news that the Apple M4 CPU is going to be put and placed in every single Mac product that launches this year and beyond. So whether it's a MacBook Air, whether it's a MacBook Pro, Mac Studio. Now, that's not to say that whenever the M5 chips, they're not just going to put M4 chip for the next 5 years. They're going to put it. In the Mac series of devices until the replacement comes. The M5 comes along, then they'll replace the M4 with the M5s. But you're not going to see, you know how Apple, as of lately, has kind of been staggering their CPUs, right? They started, what was it, last year? iPhone 14 would have a 14 Pro, 14 Pro Max would have the Bionic A16, the newest mobile CPU. And then the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus would have last year's flagship CPU, the Bionic A15. And then this year, the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max would have the Bionic A17 CPU, their latest and greatest. But their base model 15 Plus would have last year's flagship, the Bionic A16. So they've kind of been staggering CPUs lately. Now, they've kind of introduced that to other products, not just cell phones. But moving forward, they're putting their latest and greatest CPU. Now, this M4 is the very best mobile chipset you can find on the planet. Mobile chipset. I said mobile. Now, I can't put it in a phone, but mobile as in a mobile laptop. They do have some CPUs that are like for desktop only that I'm sure can slightly beat out the M4, but for the average Joe, you and me and everybody else, basically the M4 is as good as it gets. And why did this news leak? Why now? Because when we get leaks, when we get information, it comes out for a reason, right? Stuff just doesn't leak out in thin air. There's not some bad guys that sneak into Apple office at 4 a.m. in Cupertino and break in the Apple office and Tim Cook's office and run out with some PDF with some files underneath their arms. They don't. No. These leaks most of them, not all of them, right? But most of them come out from the source, right? So somebody in the PR team of Apple, somebody in the marketing team of Apple, they'll leak this out. They'll push this info to a trusted source, right? Typically with Apple, I believe it's Mark Gurman with Forbes. I believe he's a big quote-unquote Apple insider. They probably are in communication with him, right? He's a trusted source. He's with Forbes. Although their tech stories are like 5 days late, but it is what it is. He gets the exclusives, right? So why did Apple push this out, right? What's the reasoning for this? Why this? So again, every Mac product, whether it's MacBook, Mac Mini, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, Mac Studios, the one that costs like $7,000, everything that has the word Mac on it, from this day moving forward, they're putting an M4 in it. I believe they put this information out, or they wanted to let everybody know, because just how good and how much attention the new Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite CPUs have been getting. If you go on YouTube and you simply just type in X Elite, that's all you got to type in on YouTube. X space Elite, the word Elite. You're going to find video after video after video after video of YouTubers reviewing a laptop, right, with the new Snapdragon X Elite CPU. I've watched quite a few videos because I'm gonna make a purchase here pretty soon, probably I would say by the end of the year, of a new Snapdragon X Elite machine, right? And just don't know which one. So I've watched quite a few reviews yesterday. In the last 24, 48 hours, I was hard-pressed to find one that spoke bad about it. Now, there was a handful that weren't too enthusiastic about it, but they did not say anything negative or anything bad, really, about it. So it's been getting, and that's kind of odd, right? Every now and then you'll find somebody that trashes a product, whether it's a product that generally most people like, or that's absolutely loved. It's been getting so much attention, so many good reviews, and it performs well, right? It backs it up, right? It performs wonderful. Now, it does not beat M4 benchmark testing. It does beat M3, and Apple has been getting back to the staggered CPU. See, I tied the stories in. It just took a little while. Apple is still staggering CPUs, so not every flag to this point. They've only put one product out with the M4, right, which was the iPad, right? But Apple wants to let each and every potential consumer know that might be on the fence about buying a new MacBook here in the near future, or maybe that new Snapdragon looks pretty nice over there. Apple wants you to know they're not messing around. Every new MacBook coming, we're not staggering CPUs moving forward with our MacBooks or with our Mac products. Every Mac product here on out is getting the best CPU you can get on the planet. Yeah, right? They punch the table. That's a statement. And headlines like this, stories like this, lets people know, all right, well, I know what I can expect then. Well, then I'm getting the next MacBook Pro. I'm getting the next MacBook Air, right? No more staggered CPUs, at least, the foreseeable future when it comes to MacBooks. Now, with iPads in the future, with iPhones in the future, probably still going to stagger the CPUs. But when it comes to MacBooks, when it comes to top of the line products, Apple says we're not messing around. Let's see. I believe I did get this from Mark Gurman. Yes. An updated model of the MacBook Pro, rumored to arrive in the fourth quarter of 2024, will likely be Apple's first Mac member to be treated with the M4. As with last year, the tech giant is expected to unveil 3 computers, starting with a 14-inch base model, right? And then followed by a slightly more powerful version with the same screen size and a larger 16-inch version. As for the rest of the lineup, Bloomberg's... Oh, he works for Bloomberg, not... what did I say? Forbes? Sorry. Sorry, Mark. Provided the following launch update explaining that MacBook Pro and Mac Pro and Mac Studio have been unveiled and will feature the latest Apple silicon. So he got this quote directly from Apple. So this is directly from the horse's mouth. Quote, there's been speculation online about when to expect the M4 Mac line, which I first discussed months ago. After checking around, I don't see a change in the schedule. The M4 iMacs, MacBook Pros, low and high-end versions, and Mac Minis, low and high-end models as well, are due between the end of 2024 and early 2025. New MacBook Airs are coming in the spring of 2025, and the MacBook Pro and Mac Studio models will arrive around the second half of next year. This will mark for the first time Apple is bringing a new chip family to every Mac it makes. The move follows the addition of the M4 to the iPad Pro in May. Wow, quite a quote. So we basically knew the Mac or MacBook Pro and the Mac Studio were going to come with the M4, right? And it's going to be the M4 Ultra. Or M4 Pro and M4 Max will be coming before the M4 Ultra. So they have different names, like it's the M4, badass CPU, but they have a Pro, a Max, and an Ultra version, kind of like the Snapdragon X Elite. It's the same architecture, same CPU. They just basically clock them at different speeds. Some have tiny bit of gains over the others. Obviously, your Ultra is going to be the top of the line, but trust me, the base M4 or M4 Pro is certainly no slouch. It's going to have a 10-core CPU version, 3 nanometer, right? 3 nanometer SoC. Easily beats competitors such as the Snapdragon X Elite, and it outperforms the M3 Pro in both single and multi-core scores. It is up 45% faster than the M2 and M3 in Geekbench 6. Holy crap. That is fast. Well, that's a big improvement. Additionally, the performance of the 9-core CPU members is also unthrottled, allowing them to perform closer to the 10-core versions. Wow. Considering that the new MacBook models have more powerful cooling solution. Oh, Google, what do you know? Back to cooling. Told y'all, these high-performance CPUs crank out a lot of heat. What do you know? Apple's taking care of their cooling. Thermals, right? Hint, hint, wink, wink. Google. It's possible that Apple will optimize the M4 to run at higher clock speeds and achieve even better single-core and multi-core scores. Whew, it's a mouthful. So, if you're potentially wanting a MacBook and or new laptop, has to be Apple, or you're on the fence, you know you're going to get a badass product, right? Good performing product, I should say. I don't know about the operating system, but it sure is going to run pretty dang fast. Give me one second. I'm back. Any other news? Let's see here. We might take a stroll outside of eSIM Studios. I'm starting to add a little code to this. Look at what I'm building. That looks cool, right? I should have this finished. They're going to be links. I should have this finished here in the next day or two, but it's going to look nice. Continue to build it out. Let's take a stroll outside of eSIM Studios. Just for a second. See if I'm missing anything. Whoa. Yeah, we already went through that. Retail listing of the Galaxy Buds 3. Have y'all seen the Galaxy Buds 3? Did I add that to our site? If not, we'll check it out. I have this here. Look, the redesign, but that's from the Galaxy wearable application, right? So it shows the stems here. And I'll add this to the site once we're done here, but check this out. I actually have photos, right? Yes, they are going to have a stem. I don't know how or how you should, if you're a Galaxy Buds lover like me, check this out. Here we go. These are going to have stems, and they look rather weird. Futuristic looking, very sharp angles. Sort of look like Cybertruck earbuds, if that makes sense. I'm sure they're going to cost a pretty penny, but I will have to get them. Let's see. Huh. No other pictures. Real quick before we get out of here. Oh, what do you know? Apple is stepping up its work on AR glasses, but don't expect them soon. So we spoke about the cheaper Apple Vision Pro headset, right? But look at this. So Apple's working on glasses as well. So not just a cheaper Vision Pro, but actual glasses as well. Interesting. Let's see what it says. Damn, 2027? See, things take a while to develop. Let's check out real quick before we get off of here. I want to see if I want to get one of these, a dev kit. Is it for sale? Yes or no? Does not look like it, does it? See, they say they're on sale, but they're actually not. I was on their website yesterday. And they are not. So you do not have to be a developer to buy one of these. You can be anybody, right? And $899, which is cheaper than a laptop with the same CPU in it. It comes with 32 gigs of RAM, tons of ports, with its very best Snapdragon X Elite CPU. Still not available, huh? I guess not. All right. See, look. Developer kit launches June 18th. Well, it's June 18th, and there's still no dev kit. Wait, hold on. This is Yahoo. That's not even... I need Qualcomm's website. Is it for sale? Yes or no? Press note, but I want the... Let's see, products. Where would it be? Where would it be? Alright, I don't see it. Would it be here? Does it have a link? Let's see. Oh, right here. Let's see. Pre-order. Let's go. Okay, so it's not for sale. Damn it. All right. Let's see the laptops, shall we? Now, I'm looking to the Samsung, but they only have 16 gigs of RAM. Huh. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Well, I'm wasting y'all's time and mine too, so I'm gonna get out of here and get to work on the site. Also have to record something, so I will see y'all tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday, right? Yeah. So it's all good. I will see you tomorrow. Look, I'm testing some other streaming software. So if you see me go live here, I don't know, the next hour or two, I'm testing some stuff out. So appreciate the view. Thank you very much for your time. I do really appreciate you joining us today. Don't forget esimstudios.app. All your tech news, everything else you could dream of and more. When it comes to technology, we got it there for you. And as always, I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Peace out.